Hi, this is William Robinson of ViralHair.com. We are at NerdCon and at NerdFest in Mont Belvieu, Texas. Here we're speaking with Jerry Shafer. Would please, Jerry, introduce yourself to the audience?
Absolutely. Hi, my name is Jerry Jacob Shafer, and I'm here at NerdCon representing the Eastern Rim Funny Book and Vintage Con, as well as I'm an admin for NerdFest as well.
Okay. So let's start off with what is Eastern Rim?
Not a problem. Before we can get into Eastern Rim, I have to sort of give you the lowdown on how it all began. I'm part of a 501c3 nonprofit called the Promise Center that we're in Baytown. We offer services for the community at large. We have after-school tutorials on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We service about 40 kids with that, kindergarten through 5th grade. We have summer leadership camps where we have kids from 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th, and we basically introduce them to major players in our city, our mayor, our superintendent, some of the folks on the Board of Regents at our college, city council members, and we basically train them how to be leaders. We also have a summer camp, a science camp, where we have kids who are from kindergarten all the way through 6th grade in the summer as well, and we attempt to have different sort of processes. Another thing that we do is we have poetry nights, we have a film series where we have filmmakers come out and show their films and have a talk and discussion about it. And from that, we also thought, well, me and Augustine, who's one of the board members, he's actually the vice president, are big comic book lovers. And we're thinking, well, why can't we have a comic con? And so we started off our very first one, and it was just basically a collector showcase. So we had vendors, we didn't have any cosplay, we didn't have any panels or anything like that, and it was a pretty good show. The following time that we did it, this last April actually, we added cosplay contest, we added panels, and we had a wide variety of folks. And for the desire that we have to be able to provide things for the community at a no cost or low cost option, that's where the idea of Eastern Rim was born. Because as you know, Comic Cons these days, you're looking at $75 a ticket at the very least.
Right.
And so if you have a family of four, I mean, that's what, $300, I guess? I'm bad at math. $300, and then you get in, you have to pay $20 of parking per day for 3 days, and then you get in, and the con pizza is not very good, and it costs $8 a slice.
Exactly.
And, it's a very sort of cost prohibitive situation, and so we want to provide something for folks that is free parking. We've partnered up with Lee College this year, and it's not going to be at the Promise Center anymore because of the fact that we had about 300 or 400 folks come out last year. And so we got together with them, and we're being able to use their gymnasium facility, which is 7,000 square feet. We're going to have a ton of tables, a ton of cosplay authors, writers, that kind of a thing. We're also got with our city, Baytown, and they threw some hot funds at us, hotel motel funds. And so we're working on some major advertisements. We're talking to the Buzz, and they're going to be doing some ads for us here in the run up to the con. And then we also have some money invested in terms of getting some bigger name folks out there. And so that's what we're kind of working on right now. And so Eastern Rim was born from a desire to be able to give the Comic-Con experience to everybody in a way that is free, but still has the same quality and the same sort of process that any regular Comic-Con does. Basically connect everyone together in a way that is meaningful and allows all of us nerds to come together and have fun.
Okay, touching on what you've already spoken about, this might sound like an odd question, but because, if we look at our big comic book characters, Captain America, Superman,
Sure.
There's an idea that these characters, for the most part, represent some kind of hope or protection. Does that kind of, you see that how the nerd community kind of crosses over with the community service type of folks there, how that kind of, they emulate that idea to want to help, and does that kind of dovetail between the center and that kind of thing?
Honestly, yes, because of the fact that if you want to have a cohesive and a well-meaning society, you have to have people who are willing to give of themselves, sometimes till it hurts, in order to get things accomplished. What is a hero, honestly? A hero is someone who does for others without looking for anything in return. and who puts themselves out on the line, who helps in any way that they can. And as I said, not saying that we're heroes or anything like that, just basically getting to the point where, we have to strive to be like a hero, all of us, for our society to come together, especially in this very divisive time in which we're living. And just a little bit of hope, just a little bit of love, just a little bit of caring and connection to the idea of what a hero is can allow anybody, absolutely anybody, to step up and fill those shoes for the meantime, for that moment, or longer possibly, and be able to give the milk of human kindness to the people who need it, as well as to be able to spread it beyond just the bounds of one's heart.
Thanks. Now, with the big push here lately over the years for Houston to become, well, most of Southeast Texas or this region from San Antonio to Houston to become bigger as far as, say, cons. We've got Wizard World, we've got Conapalooza, there's the Heart of Texas Con. Does that spillover kind of help as far as awareness being raised for Eastern Rim and other smaller cons, do you think? Do you think that that's as you said, despite the price of these bigger cons, there is some good aspects of it as far as it's easier to say, hey, I've got a con going on, do this, as far as the way the community reacts to you?
I think that it works in our favor in the sense that we are smaller, we're not cost prohibitive. They know what they experienced at those places, and people go, I mean, obviously, you have 30 or 40,000 people or 50,000 people go to Comicpalooza every year. It is an established event that, has meaning and worth and value. And like I said, we're attempting to do something in Baytown so that way that we can affect the people in that general area because of the fact that, a lot of times cons in the in-between spaces, like from the Eastern Corridor, you're going from Houston, and then of course you have LaPorte, Pasadena, and places like that, going through Baytown, going into towards Louisiana. A lot of times you don't have a lot of sort of con activity in those directions. I mean, there are certain things. I mean, I know there's there's one happening in Louisiana. I can't think of the name of it right now. There's a couple of things, but those are we as a con community are attempting to fill in the spaces that the big cons can't. And because of the fact that the big cons, are what they are, and that's just the nature of the beast. They're big and they're impersonal in many ways. We attempt to personalize it, like what we're doing here at NerdCon. I mean, all the vendors are telling me how great they think this place is. They're telling me how lovely it is and how happy they are that we're given that extra special little bit of help here and there, providing them with rides from their cars back to where we are over here, and basically just setting everything up so that way that they have the best possible outcome for their situation. And hopefully they make a lot of money, and even if they don't, that's a good time. And it's not one of those just very impersonal con situations. I have a lot of folks who are I'm friends with who do cons, who are writers and authors and people who are set up tables and stuff. And I hear a lot of the horror stories. I hear a lot of the poor treatment that they get and everything like that. And that's one thing that we never want to do as Eastern Rim, or NerdCon as a matter of fact, that we want to be able to make everyone feel like they're part of the family, because it's dumb not to. Why would you want to make someone feel unwanted? First of all, I think that's inappropriate. Second of all, no one's too big to be awful. You have to be able to bring folks back every year. And the thing is this, is that if you create, a brotherhood and a sisterhood between you and the vendors and the authors and, the folks, like the Jakku Temple or the Star Wars enthusiasts or whomever may come out, the 501st, then, that relationship is what concretes everything in and creates, a formidable foundation for everyone's success.
Right. Okay, and lastly, with all the stuff you've seen, just speaking from my experience,
Sure.
I've seen where even if I'm a different point of view, whether it be religion or politics or anything else,
Sure.
I found out that once talking to a fellow nerd, that we wind up just kind of hanging out every time we see each other because being fans of something kind of overcomes a lot of other stuff. Do you see that yourself in what you do? And
Here's the thing. Nerd culture is a great equalizer, man. Okay? You come in and you sit down and, you leave the politics, the religion, the divisiveness of the world behind, and you're like, oh yeah, man, I love Superman, or man, Spider-Man, that's my guy, or Wonder Woman is terrific, or Black Panther is the best, and that's the beauty of it. The thing is this, is that we can set aside whatever differences that we have and connect on a level that is not of the brain so much as it is of the heart. You know what I'm saying? Of the soul. And in that, maybe we can find more common ground. Maybe we can bridge those divisions. And that's going back to what you said earlier about heroes. Superheroes, for example, Superman. Okay. Superman is probably the most heartfelt and best hero in regards to, what a hero should be. Don't get me wrong, I'm a Batman guy, I love Sandman, I love Swamp Thing, all that. Okay. At the same time, Superman loves everybody. Okay. Superman, if you're a bad guy, he wants you to be good. If you're a kid standing on the edge of a building about to jump off, he'll come and grab you and hug you and tell you it's okay and fly you down. It doesn't matter. Sure, if you're bad, you're going to pay. Obviously, you pay your debt or whatever. At the same time, though, he's not going to throw you off the side of a building and hope you land okay. He's rooting for you to get better. He's rooting for you to change. He's rooting for you to be more than what you were or what you thought you were.
right.
And so in that sense, he's the biggest symbol of love and hope and faith that you can think of in regards to comics and comic culture, nerd culture. And so, maybe if we all emulated Superman a bit more, that we could bridge those divides that are so pervasive these days and, find common ground and be able to, love one another better.
Right. Thank you, Jerry.
Absolutely.